Hello Milkshakers, it's David here. Welcome to another episode of Milkshake Showtime! Ta-da! Now, as I said before, I love putting on shows for my family around the house. And so I thought I'd put on another show for you, my Milkshake family. This is the story of bored Bobby, who has absolutely nothing to do until he starts using his imagination. Now, I've got a challenge for you. Every time you hear me sing the word bored, I'd like you to make a really silly, really funny bored face, like this. Or like this. Can you do that for me? Right, here it is. Bored Bobby. Enjoy the show.
Hello Milkshakers, this is the story of little bored Bobby and all the struggles that he faced while he was sat around the house with nothing to do. I'm really bored, so very bored, there's nothing to do and time goes by so slowly. If only I could think of something really fun to do. I'm really bored, so very bored, even my mum says I am being moany. If only I wasn't really very bored. Poor little Bobby was struggling ever so much with being bored. He tried counting all of his fingers. He tried pacing back and forth and back and forth. He sat down, he stood up, he stared at the ceiling. He even made friends with a potato, but nothing could stop his boredom. I'm really bored, so very bored, there's nothing to do and time goes by so slowly. If only I could think of something really fun to do. I'm really bored, so very bored, even my mum says I am being moany. If only I wasn't really very bored. Hello little Bobby. Hello. I'm sensing that you might be a little bit bored.
Yeah, a little bit.
Have you thought about using your imagination?
What do you mean?
You see that box that's full of socks? That would make an awesome rocket. You could race it up to space and put some moon dust in your pocket.
What about if I worked out how to make a speedy race car?
You know you can. With pots and pans you can zoom around the room.
That's a great idea,
thought Bobby, as his imagination started coming to life. He quickly grabbed the cardboard box and got to work on making a super rocket to shoot him up into space.
Zoom!
Then he got to work on that race car, creating a super speedy racer out of the pots and pans in the kitchen. His imagination was running wild. Hello, little Bobby.
Hello.
You look like you've been busy using your imagination.
Yeah, I have.
Why don't you tell us what you've been up to?
All right. I made a teleport, did some indoor sport. I used some cushions to make a fort. Did a silly dance, put Daddy in a trance. I even had a party in a place called France. I did kung fu, learned to tie my shoe. I even read a book while I was on the loo. Pulled a funny face, went to outer space. And there's really so much more.
Go on.
I made a tower out of books, taught my mummy how to cook. Made a card for Uncle Drew and it said I love you. Looked for treasure underground, really quickly span around. Made a hat for my pet, I even learned the alphabet. A, B, C, D, what comes next? E, F, G, nearly forgot, silly me. Think I'll have a cup of tea. Played a song on the guitar and now I know one thing for sure. I'm no longer bored, I'm no longer bored. There's so much to do and time goes by so quickly. I feel sickly. I think I need a rest from all the things I've done. I'm no longer bored, yeah!
You'll never be bored if you can use your imagination
for creation.
You'll never ever ever be bored. You'll never ever ever be bored.
I'll never ever ever be bored.
And little Bobby was never bored again.
There you have it, bored Bobby. Oh, he's ever so silly, isn't he? Now, Milkshakers, if you would like to put on your own show, then make sure you ask a grown-up to help you with all of the making and all of the building of that show. Very important. Now, I've got one final challenge for you. I'd like you to watch Bored Bobby one more time and see if you can count how many times my friend Spuddy appears in the show. He's all over the place, such a sneaky little potato. Right, whilst you do that, I'm going to go and write another show. It's fun doing all of this. See you later.